What is up, YouTube? This is the Heated Waves podcast. I'm Mr. Bradley. My dude to the left, my colleague, best friend of the show, and best friend in real life. Hard to believe it.
Right.
T-Ball.
What's up, guys? Glad to be here. Bringing you some more of the primetime picks we got for you, the games we think are going to be the most interesting this week. Getting into week 6, it's getting a little interesting. Obviously, last week was a bit of a toss-up. We saw some interesting games last week.
Yes, we did, but the game we're going to first start with that we think is a key game between us, and I think a lot of people at home, because this division game is going to be the 4-1 Browns going to the Steelers, who are perfect still on the year.
Battling for the top spot
4-0.
between these two in the division. Should be a pretty decent game.
You want to take this one first? Let me know who you got and why.
I know we got some Steelers fans that are always watching.
Shout out.
I don't know if you guys know this, but Ben Roethlisberger is actually 22-1 versus the Browns.
With the tie.
Yeah, that one tie. Browns have scored actually 30-plus points in their last 4 straight games with absolutely no help from Odell Beckham Jr.
Yeah, it's crazy.
In his last 15 games, he's actually had under 100 receiving yards in each of those 15 games.
I wouldn't say he hasn't been any help, but he hasn't been Odell Beckham.
Right. Yes, he hasn't been the help that he was when he was in New York.
Balling.
And the Browns are actually number 1 in the rush, looking really good on the ground. But the Steelers have the number 1 defense, and I think with the Steelers, with all these numbers that I've been factoring in, and I'm looking Steelers at home, like I've said in the past, crowd doesn't really matter. You're at home field advantage, whether the crowd's there or not. I think it's a factor. You're more comfortable in your own stadium.
There's still people
grass.
there. There's people in the stands. It's like 700 people.
But it's not the huge crowd noise that would take effect.
It's been set at 80 decibels, the fake crowd noises and stuff. I like it.
I've seen them in your intricate
it's not enough.
Boos and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's not
as well.
enough if you were down there playing in the Steelers game, packed at home. This is a tough game for the fucking Browns.
Left. Yeah.
So
I took the Steelers in this one.
I figured you would.
I figured with them being at home, Ben Roethlisberger just being on a roll, them having such a good record against the Browns. I know this ain't the same Brown teams they've normally faced, and I think the last time these two teams played, the Browns may have actually won. I'm not real sure. But I had to take the Steelers this week. Brown's going to add that number 2. I just think they're still a little shaky. 4-1's pretty skeptical, in my opinion, for this team. So,
like I've been trying to do all year long, just like last year, get you on this Browns train, man.
It's never going to happen.
Look, they've won 4 straight. And like you just said previously, they've scored 30-plus points in 4 straight games. That's all the wins that they have. Every time they score 30 points, they win. Last week beat a pretty good Colts team.
Can they do that against the number 1 defense?
They beat a pretty good Colts team who were 3-1 last week and gave them their second loss, put up 32 on them. Pretty decent defense, like we always talk about. 11th best offense, of course, Browns. And like you said, the first best ranked rush offense, but they did lose Nick Chubb. And now they're solely upon Kareem Hunt. And when you had those 1-2, I would easily pick the Browns on this game because I know the Steelers have the number 1 ranked defense. They got, 4th lowest in passing yards they're giving up and all this stuff. But the run defense, if you had Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb 1-2, I think they would run all over the Steelers at least, and gain probably 150 yards between the two guys. But we don't. We just see Kareem Hunt this week.
Yeah.
The O-line's actually been much better than it was last year for the Browns. I think this is the reason why they're 4-1, since 1994, since Bill Belichick, when we talked about a previous thing with the whole Tom Brady episode. Go back and check that out. I'm still going to go with the Browns this week. I think the Steelers, they had an extra time off and stuff like that. Yeah, listen to this stat. This is what people are going to be like, you're fucking crazy for picking them. 10-0 the Steelers are at home versus Browns since 2010. Haven't lost since 2010. But I just, Browns are going to keep this rolling. They've won 4 straight, put up 30 points. This offense is finally clicking. Yes, Odell Beckham is going to break that hump you were talking about. He's going to have 100 receiving yards, not in this game, because TJ Watt's going to get it after it. He's 13 quarterback hits, 8 tackles for a loss, 4.5 sacks. But you also got to think Myles Garrett's out there balling for the Browns. And it's unfortunate we don't get to see another fight break out because Mason Rudolph won't be the quarterback. It's Big Ben.
Yeah.
And I just don't think Big Ben's been that great this year. Yeah, he's got 10 touchdowns, only 1 interception, but he's only throwing for 254 yards per game. That's not Big Ben. Big Ben throws for 300 yards a game. Or are you telling me there's not enough talent on this Steelers team? I like the Steelers. I think this is going to be a great game. I don't think the Steelers are going to blow them out. I think
I don't think it'll be a blowout by any
the Browns
means.
skate by in this game, and that's my pick for it because they are the 4th best in scoring. The Browns at 31.2 points per game.
I'd give the Steelers
a slight
win
edge.
by 34-30.
34-30. I think the Browns have to score 30 to win. Like I said, they've won the previous
They might get
4.
their 30. I just don't think it'll be enough to get past this defense and an offense that's not too shabby on that Steelers side of the ball. So
Absolutely. I got the Browns, though. I like them rolling here again. If they win this week, T-Ball, will you please pick them next week with
Who
me?
they play
I
next
don't
week?
care who they play next
No,
week. Even
then
if
I'm
it's
not picking them.
even if it's the Ravens, I
I'm
don't
gonna
care.
factor in who they're playing.
Come on,
of course.
dude. Come
No,
on.
I'm not jumping on the Browns.
If they're 5-1 and beat this undefeated Steelers
Okay,
team.
I have to take the Steelers. Mr. Bradley, of course, has to take the Browns. See what happens. Don't forget to comment, like, let us know if we left anything
Down below.
out.